Reince Priebus, chairman of the Republican National Committee, is also out in Las Vegas, of course. Mr. Chairman, good morning. Good to see you. Thanks for getting up early. Appreciate it.
Hey, good morning, Savannah.
Let's do some housekeeping. Donald Trump seemed to be flirting again with the idea this week of mounting an independent run. Last night, he seemed again to close the door on that and say he'll run as a Republican no matter what. Can you now sleep at night? Is the issue closed in your mind?
Savannah, it's been closed for months for me. I was never losing any sleep about it to begin with. I think that the media enjoys this little narrative about independent runs, but the truth is that there isn't going to be any independent in the White House. They're either going to be a Republican or a Democrat. I was never concerned about it. Donald Trump signed the pledge when I went to his office months ago, and he's never indicated to me any reason why he wouldn't honor the pledge, and I never doubted it. So it's never been anything I've been concerned about.
Let's talk about another issue. There's open discussion among some Republicans of this notion of a brokered convention, that if Donald Trump were to be the nominee, that Republicans would get together at the convention and come up with an alternative and have a floor fight. Let me ask you directly, will you rule out this notion of a brokered convention?
Well, Savannah, I don't know where that narrative comes from other than a fictional narrative that spun up last week that never happened. So,
will you rule it out? Can you rule it out?
First of all, no one can rule it out. I mean, if a candidate doesn't get to a majority of delegates by the time you get to the convention, then you could have a contested convention. But my belief is that we will have a presumptive nominee by the end of March or middle of April. I've said that for over a year. I still believe that. The odds of a contested convention are almost nothing. But, you know, look, is it possible? Possible, but it's possible the Democrats would have a contested convention. Is it likely? Of course not.
Well,
but,
and you know,
it's something that... Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. The discussion comes up because there's this feeling that if Donald Trump emerges as the nominee, that some Republicans will not be happy with that, and they fear that it will essentially hand the election to Hillary Clinton. A lot of the candidates, if you ask them, say they'll ultimately support whoever the Republican nominee is, but they cannot bring themselves to say, I will support Donald Trump. Where are you on that? Will you support Donald Trump if he is the Republican nominee?
Of course. I mean, the point is the Republican National Committee is being built and is built for whoever the nominee is. So it doesn't matter whether it's him or someone else. One of the other 13 candidates who were on the stage last night, the Republican National Committee is built to be plugged into whoever the nominee is. And so we're going to support whoever the nominee is. And that means that whatever nominee can get a majority of delegates is the nominee of our party, and that's where we're going to be.
You know, Trump is getting a lot of attention and certainly setting the agenda in terms of this ban on Muslims that he has proposed. You've been critical of it. You said that it would come at the expense of our values. Other candidates have criticized it in varying degrees, and yet Republicans support that idea. The poll I saw was 59 to 61% approve of that idea, and Trump is getting a bump out of it. He's at 41% in some polls. Where's the disconnect? Is he more accurately reflecting where the Republican voters are right now?
Well, you know, look, I think the reality is that we all have the same goal, right? And so you have 13 people on the stage that have different ways of getting to that goal of keeping America more safe. I do think that people are afraid. We're afraid. I'm afraid. I mean, I'm sure that you're all concerned about where we're at in this country in fighting ISIS and terrorism, and what happened weeks ago in California frightens everybody. So, look,
but you said it comes at the expense of our values, and yet you'll also support Donald Trump, and I'm just trying to put those two concepts together.
Well, look, but here's the thing. The concept is that everyone has, or at least many of the candidates have, a different pathway of getting to the same goal, Savannah. And the reality is that this president and Hillary Clinton haven't done a good job, and the American people don't believe that Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton have done a good job in fighting terrorism. Now, look, when you have 13 candidates running, in many cases you're going to have 13 different ways of tackling the problem. At the very least, Republicans are offering solutions to the problems that I know that Americans don't believe are being tackled properly. And so for that, I'm excited about the fact that we're offering the American people solutions to these problems. And so, while we may not agree with each other on everything, the goal is still the same, and that's the point I'm trying to make.
All right. Republican National Committee Chairman Reince Priebus, it's good to talk to you. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, with the first votes now.